Hey, Mike with Nerd Problems Gaming here, and today's video will be doing an unboxing of the Resident Evil board game, so let's get into it. Alright, so now that we've got the game out, let's jump in and see what's inside. Now, if you aren't familiar with Resident Evil the board game, this actually follows the story of the first Resident Evil video game. So it's going to be taking place in the Spencer Mansion, which is just right outside of Raccoon City. So there's been some different disturbances going on, people being attacked, and then you will play as members of the STARS team that go on a quest to investigate this manor and to find out what's going on. And so it does really follow that survival horror format. And so instead of being more like a dungeon crawler, which this game certainly has some elements to it, your characters don't necessarily level up like you would in a dungeon crawler, and it is more survival focused, where you're not necessarily going to be trying to take out every monster, every zombie that you encounter, but instead you're trying to reach specific goals of campaign missions. And so it might be finding items, escaping the area, finding different keys, solving puzzles, and different things like that. And so the game does play more of a campaign format to it. And so you can play with multiple people, but you can also play solo as well. And so you've got the scenarios that you'll go through. It does seem quite complex, but I think once you really start to get the hang and the flow of the game, it definitely comes together and is a little bit easier to follow. And so again, what's cool as well is that you do have kind of a choose your own adventure element to it, where you can start off by accessing 4 different missions and explore 4 different areas of the mansion, and then you'll get a different corresponding scenario depending on which one you choose. But then again, the items that you might find within each scenario again are a little bit randomized. So what's cool with this is that each time you play through a campaign, it can have a different flow to it. You'll experience different missions in different orders, and so it's kind of like a totally new game experience every time you play through a campaign. And so again, that's really cool as well. It does have options of playing with friends, each one controlling a specific hero from the Resident Evil universe, or again, you can play this solo as well to get kind of that real video game vibe from the Resident Evil series. So let's bust this open. So what's cool is you get all these different tiles and locations, and depending on the mission, it'll basically give you just general shapes that you can set up, but it doesn't necessarily matter which tile you choose, just as long as it fits the right shape. And so that's kind of cool. It makes setup a little bit easier when you're building this out, because again, some locations are quite large, but again, it's pulling really the graphics and areas straight out of the Resident Evil video game, which is really cool. And so I'm definitely a fan of that, where you get to explore the mansion here. Again, this is like the common entry area from the games, which is really awesome. And again, you've got different spawn points for the zombies, where they might come out. You've got different handguns and weapons that you'll find, ammunition trackers for that. You've got the different door types that you can find. Some of them are closed doors, some of them are archways, different things like that. You've got your item box, overall enemy threat tracker. You've also got the different health bars indicating if you're fine or in danger straight out of the video games. So again, that's really cool as well. You've got different kerosene tokens, which you'll use to refill up certain types of ammunition. And again, health trackers for the bigger boss enemies. On top of that, they've got different encounter cards, which are really cool. So as you explore new areas on the map, you'll basically flip up a certain number of encounter cards. And then again, this can be random events like zombie attacks and much more, which is cool. Again, giving you that unique experience every time you play through an area. But let's dive into the miniatures here. So we've got the zombie dog miniature, all beaten up. Again, that's really cool. You got your regular zombie miniature here. Again, very detailed. Another version of the zombie dog. Very cool. Another zombie. Again, just facing a different way this time. Another zombie, different pose coming after you. Cool. Again, another zombie figurine here. Really cool. Got some hunter figurines, kind of giant lizard-like monsters, which are cool. More intense enemies that you might find along the way. Got the massive tyrant monster, which is awesome. Don't really remember this monster from the first one, but looks pretty intense. Crazy zombie-like creature. It's got some little trackers for your cards. Got the various dice that you'll roll, indicating you dodging enemies or successfully hitting them, which is nice. We've got the main survivors here. I believe this one might be Barry Burton, if I remember right. This one I believe is Rebecca Chambers. We've got Jill Valentine. And then Chris Redfield. So again, got your original Stars members from the first game. Really cool. And then let's see what else is under here. Got a bunch of card decks and items you'll find. So let's start with these little item cards first. So again, you'll find a lot of the same items that you would find from the video games here. So different green herbs, ammunition like handgun bullets, red herbs, daggers for defense, your first aid spray, kerosene containers to fill up weapons, shotgun shells, grenade rounds, magnum bullets, more defensive weapons, some key items here that you'll find, keys to open locked doors, different weapons and items here, which is cool, flamethrowers, specific files you'll need to find, grenade launchers and more. Nice. Now another element to the game is that you'll find locked doors. So you'll need to find the corresponding key or key item that you need to open this door. And so again, it does have that puzzle element like you find in the Resident Evil games. Again, this is indicating some health options for your characters, because you do have some side characters in addition to your main ones. And then this kind of shows how you build out the map. And so you'll start off, as I mentioned, with access to some floors, but over time you'll be able to further explore the mansion and unlock new areas once you find key items. And then each one of these areas has a scenario associated with it. All right, let's check out some more of these items. Seen a lot of these already, but we'll go through them quickly. Different grenades you can find, more weapons, ammunition, special keys and emblems, rocket launchers, key items here, different medallions, handguns as starting weapons and knives for your characters, and more. Again, these are some key items that you'll find. Nice. So these cards are actually different ways that your map can expand as you flip up new areas as you explore throughout each scenario. And so this is pretty cool, kind of showcases as you unlock new areas what might pop out, whether it's different key items you can find, zombies or monsters that might spawn, different things like that. So you'll be drawing encounter cards and different things like that to fill out these areas as you explore and enter new parts of the map. Now these actually break down some of the different monsters and zombies that you're going to find along the way. Again, some of them are bosses as well, so they have different move sets associated with them And so you'll kind of be drawing these every turn that one of these bosses are on the map. These ones are some of the encounters that you'll run into. So they might be filled with zombies, special items, little missions that you might have as well as you explore. And so these are just, again, more variety you'll encounter throughout each run. Now these are actually missions that your side characters can carry out throughout the game. And so this is a little bit different than the Resident Evil 3 board game that I've played before and showcased on the channel, where this time around you might have different characters outside of your main character that are exploring, trying to find other survivors, taking out key enemies, and more. So it's another cool thing that can be going on in the background as you're playing through the campaign with your main characters. And so this just breaks down those different events that could be happening. Again, more locations that you might reveal, expanding the map on your different campaigns as you're going through. So I'll go through these quite quick. And then again, these are now onto the different enemy types. So zombies, hunters, the Cerberus dogs, different bosses, and then onto your character cards as well. So you've got things like your starting inventory weapons, a special ability for the character, how much inventory they can hold, and much more. And so again, a bunch of other new characters and side characters you can play as. Now another aspect of your turn is you'll be drawing tension cards. So you can see there's a bunch of here that are all clear. So basically nothing happens, but you're safe for now. And then progressively throughout the game, you'll be adding more intense tension phase cards. And so again, these could be more zombies attacking, intense bosses coming through. On top of that, as your tension and danger level increases, they might have extra dangerous effects taking place listed on the card as well. So you need to survive with all these other crazy events happening as well. Well, again, that wraps up this unboxing of Resident Evil, the board game. Looks like it's going to be a really fun survival horror game, similar to others in the series, where you can play the game solo or with friends, and it really seems like it's going to feel like playing Resident Evil, but in board game form. So if you did want to pick up a copy of this, there'll be a link in the description below where you can do so. But definitely stay tuned for a future video when we do a full review on the game once we've had some more time to play it. Well, again, hopefully you enjoyed this unboxing video of Resident Evil, the board game. If you did, be sure to hit that like button as it really helps out the channel. And if you wanted to pick up a copy of this game, I'll have a link in the description below where you can do so. And if you want to help support the channel, pick out content and more, consider becoming a patron of ours over at nerdproblemsgaming.com/Patreon. And another really cool way you can help support the channel is we actually partnered with a game store, Nutmeg Games. So if you like board games, Pokemon cards, Magic cards, and more, you can actually head to nutmeggames.com/nerdproblemsgaming or use our promo code nerdproblemsgaming at checkout to help support the channel and get 10% off your order at the same time. So if you want to check that out, be sure to take advantage of that great deal. And if you like videos like this on video games, board games, and everything nerdy, check out one of our other videos here. And if you haven't done so yet, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications to get the latest updates of new nerd videos we put out. But once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you more soon.